Hello guys, and welcome to the Winging It Travel podcast. Today is another special episode. You may or may not know that I co-host and produce another podcast called Taking a Career Break with Katrina McGhee. It's a weekly podcast all about taking a career break. Now that audience and my audience here on Winging It will crisscross over because to travel, whether it's medium, long term, or even a bit of short term travel, you're going to need to take some time off work. That could be vacation, PTO, leave of absence, unpaid time off, a sabbatical, or even quitting your job altogether. So I think this episode I'm going to share with you today is a very apt episode for you to think about. This is episode 67 of that podcast, and it's entitled Why You Should Stop Waiting for the Right Time to Take a Career Break. A very important topic, whether you're looking to leave a job in general, or you're thinking about that dream trip in the future that requires 2 or 3 or 4 months of your life to go and do. So, half an hour, we dive straight into some topics. We give some personal stories, some reasons why you shouldn't wait, why people do wait, what you fall for in the current climate of work, and also the system that we live in. All round a great episode. I just want to say there are loads more episodes on this podcast to check out if you're interested in even finding out how to take a career break. You can also get in contact with Katrina. She's a professional coach in this sort of stuff. She released a book with dummies called Taking a Career Break. So she's a world expert on this, and she has all the tools and all the processes to help you to take a career break. So I put all the links in the show notes and Katrina's contact details. If you're looking to get some help, you can inquire to have her as your coach, or you can join her community that she shares with Lyndall Farley, which is called Break Space. It's a collective of people who join a big community. There's over 100 people in there who are looking to take a career break or even have taken a career break and are now staying in the community for some help into their post-career break life. Anyway, that's enough of me babbling on about this episode. Let's get straight into it. And like I said, please check out the full podcast in the show notes, and I hope you enjoy. Let's get stuck in. Welcome to the Winging It Travel podcast, your weekly ticket to the world. Hosted by me, James Hammond, proudly part of the Voyescape Network. This is more than just a travel podcast. This is a cinematic audio experience to take you along with me on my journeys. Through rich, immersive soundscapes, authentic storytelling, and on-the-ground reaction, I bring you right alongside me where I'm hiking volcanoes, checking out the chaos of a city, or camping under the stars. With over 15 years of travel behind me, I've met incredible people, seen breathtaking places, and collected unforgettable stories, and now get to share them with you. So expect a mix of immersive audio episodes that let you hear the world as I explore it, solo episodes where I give raw, authentic storytelling, tips, and honest travel tales, and guest conversations with some of the most diverse and well-traveled people that I've met. This is a podcast for travelers, dreamers, backpackers, or anyone who thinks, what if I just went for it and traveled the world? So if you're looking for stories to tell, tips to share, and experiences to inspire, then you're in the right place. There is so much travel content coming your way, it might just spark that trip that you've always wanted to take. Winging It is part of the Voyescape Network, and you can check all the podcasts out on the network at voyescape.com. There's so many great hosts, great podcasts, and many, many great travel tips. Honestly, it's one of the best resources out there for travel, and it will inspire you to get out there to see the world. Head to voyescape.com for more great content. So let's dive straight in. Welcome to Taking a Career Break with Katrina McGhee, the show for high achievers who are feeling burned out, unfulfilled, and ready to dream big.
Hi there, I'm Katrina, your career break and sabbatical coach, author of the best-selling Taking a Career Break for Dummies, and your co-host.
And I'm James Hammond, your co-host and producer. If you are ready to take a life-changing break for a happier, healthier, and a more fulfilling life, then you're in the right place.
I'm going to break down my proven framework that has helped over 200 clients achieve transformative breaks. Are you ready to change your life? Let's go.
Before we dive in, if you are a regular listener and you enjoy this free podcast, please give us a positive 5-star review. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or any of the podcast apps that you listen on.
Or share this episode with a friend who really needs it so we can keep this great podcast going. Okay, on to the show.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode. And this one is why you should stop waiting for the right time to take a career break. So Katrina, how you doing?
I'm so good, James. I'm so good. I am having a good week. Today's Friday for me. And I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. What about you?
Yeah, Friday's all right. Yeah. Is that just a sign of the system we live in that we love Friday or
No, I
no?
actually wake up. I have been waking up. This is weird, but well, actually, it's maybe not that weird. I've been waking up really excited for Monday lately. Um, this year, I've just felt a lot of momentum in my business, and I've
Yeah.
had a lot of ideas, and I'm completely redoing my website like from the ground up, and it's hard. It's so much work. I've been working way too late, but I'm finding that I wake up excited on Monday to like get back into it and really like bring some more of those ideas to life. So I feel like Friday for me though feels nice because I feel like I have permission to just like be and not be in the hustle. Like after, 5 days of hustling, I'm like, okay, I need a break.
It's weird how it's so programmed in your mind, though, isn't it? It
Yeah.
literally starts from school, doesn't it? Preschool.
Yeah,
That
that's
you
true.
just know
Yeah.
Friday is the end of school and you get
Yeah.
2 days to do what you want, sort of.
Yeah. It's like
Reason.
embedded in I think probably embedded in our nervous system. Just somebody says the
Yeah.
word Saturday and your brain's like, oh, Saturday,
Yeah. And then
Unless you
Sunday's
work
like,
maybe retail or something and you're like, oh my God,
oh.
Saturday, or in restaurants or something.
Yeah, I quickly worked out, that was my first job, retail. I quickly worked
Mm,
out, I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to do this in the
yeah.
future.
Yeah.
Anyway, right time. That is a interesting concept for anything, actually. Could be
Right.
career breaks, could be travel, could be committing to something, relationships, having kids, everything, right? It's all about timing, I suppose. I do wonder if we actually overanalyze timing, but where's your context for this episode? Because I can imagine a lot of people think, oh, it's just not the right time now.
Yeah.
I'll wait 6 months, maybe a year. Like they just keep pushing back, right?
Yes, they absolutely do. So yeah, so this actually has a really interesting origin point. So I've been hearing the same thing over and over again, out in LinkedIn, also people I'm having consults with, people I talk to, things I see other people sharing. There are a lot of people who desperately need a break, a lot of
Yeah.
people who really want a break, and a ton of people who need or want a break and are too afraid to take one. And so when you listen to what they're saying, right, and why they're not willing to take a break, it's coming down to one fear. And I will also say I've noticed this fear not only for people that are at the pre-stage of a break, but also seeing it with, some of our break space members, but also just people out there that are on a break right now who are feeling so anxious about what's happening in the world and the dynamics at play in so many different ways, right?
Yeah.
That they can't let themselves fully enjoy the break. And what this oftentimes looks like is they start like gently job searching way before they would have wanted to really do that if they were coming from a place of abundance and not scarcity, right? So it's like they're half in and half out on their break and jeopardizing the full benefit. And so this fear that I see sort of both of these groups wrestling with is a term. There's a term for it I discovered, which is FOBO, and it's the fear of becoming obsolete. And I like to think of it as just a different flavor of the broader fear of falling behind.
Yes. And I think with the current events in the world that we all know about, and we've talked about this before, I've mentioned it before in another podcast episode that we've done, that when you hear the repercussions of the Gulf exam, for the strait being closed, that goes on further to being like, oh, there's a recession coming or the global economy is coming. And that sort of mentality of the global economy going to be disrupted doesn't play well into what we're trying to do, because you could always think, oh God, well, if there's going to be no jobs in 2 years, I better keep mine now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you start to realize that message through one event or another is the same. I told you before, I think I've heard this thing about the economy is not great at the minute for 25 years, I think, since I really started working sort of in retail. The first job, I was like, I went to university in 2008. So when I was like in that phase, going to university during that period of time where we did actually have a financial crash and then all COVID and all that sort of stuff, right? So you kind of are told this thing about the economy where it's not great in a minute. So,
Yeah.
Brace yourself. But that just carries on forever. That's just the norm.
It absolutely does. And I think it just takes, and I mean, we'll talk about that, but I think it just takes it takes a different narrative, but it's basically the same thing underneath. And even if you're in that, sweet spot where it actually is good, it's like brace because we're in a bubble that's about to burst. So it's like there's never really a time where it feels like things are good in a way we can trust it. And, when you were sharing your example, I'll share mine. I graduated from undergrad with a lot of student loan debt in 2001. The economy was terrible. The job market was horrific at that time. We had a bunch of on-site campus recruiters that would normally come to my college because it was a, really good liberal arts school. They would come and recruit. There was like no one, right? You had to
Mm.
go out in different ways to create opportunities and to find potential jobs. And I did. I found a dream job that paid more than either of my parents were individually making at that time, right? Like not that I was like making, $100,000, but making $45,000 in 2001 as an undergrad with like no real work experience
Not
was
bad.
insane,
Yeah,
right? That
that's
was
great.
amazing. And that was in a terrible job market. And then I went to business school, and right as I'm signing on the dotted line for that, and I'm about to be, entering in 2008, like everything crashes. Whole companies, like whatever it
Yeah.
was, like Bear Stearns or I don't know, whatever, like it's gone, right? Like boom, done, everything terrible, implosion, like, and like now I'm like, great, I've just taken on tens of thousands of dollars of debt to be in school, right? But what I found is that it was harder to get a job than maybe it would have been 2 years before. And I still got one. And it was
Yeah.
a great job. And I actually had two competing job offers, right? I had a choice. And so I think to the point of, which we're going to get into, if if we're waiting for the right time, it's never going to be the right time. And having things be hard doesn't mean that you are not capable and resourceful. It doesn't mean that you
Yeah.
won't figure it out. Like sometimes it is truly a bad job market, or it is truly, tough economic times, but it's not like the end of the world has come. Like we just keep going. Even though we think that the end is always coming, we're still here. So I just want to make sure you're doing the most with what you have while you are still here and have the means to do it. So I think that's my little soapbox rant. But yeah, I feel like it's really important to talk about this. And it's been so prevalent for me and Lyndall, like just what we're hearing, that we decided we are gonna make a break space workshop entirely on this topic. And then it was like, we're actually going to open it to everyone, right? Like it's not just going to be for our community. We're really excited. Like we put some really amazing stuff together to dive into this, and we're going to be reframing like why this is the wrong way to think about it and how you should look at it instead. And we're also going to walk people through how you actually design and navigate a break that moves you ahead in life and in work instead of falling behind. But I think it's important to also talk about it here, on the podcast. I want to lay some really solid groundwork for that workshop. And I want to, I really want to talk about it because my brain has been hyper focused on this topic for at least a month since we started talking about this workshop. And I feel like there are a couple things we need to talk about. So today's episode, we are going to talk about this worst time fallacy, or, like this waiting for the right time. Because I think this is one of the critical sort of like mindset traps we fall into that hold us back from taking a break when we really need and want one.
Yeah, and I think the interesting part of this is my own personal circumstances where I do constantly weigh up when to join the entrepreneur world like yourself and take the leap effectively. And this basically falls into the worst time fallacy. Oh, not quite now, maybe. So I keep weighing up every time. When's the month? What year?
Yeah.
Calculate how much I can get between now and then.
Yeah.
So I sort of do fall for this a little bit, interestingly. So
yeah,
if listeners want to pay attention, this is going to be a journey for me as well on this podcast.
I mean, it's really normal brain stuff. I'll just add, up until this past year, which was my best year in business, my previous best year was actually 2021 when I had just relaunched my business and we were knee deep, I would say neck deep in the COVID pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody was like, there's a recession, it's about to happen. And to be relaunching a business on taking a career break and a sabbatical at that time seemed wildly insane. And yet it was, up until last year, my most successful year in business. So,
but look at hindsight though. Like just quickly on COVID, that might be a crazy decision from you at the time. But what do we know about COVID is people just quit their jobs.
Yeah.
Because the Great Resignation happened and they realized, oh, maybe we shouldn't be doing this, like, or this is a waste of time. Or
it just pushed people too far. Yeah, it pushed people too far. It was like, oh my God, I actually am having a real life existential crisis moment. Is this how I want to be spending the rest of my life? I can't keep doing this. I'm burnt out. Like it's been too much. The heat was turned up too high for sure. But you don't know these things until you're looking in the rearview mirror, right? Hindsight is 2020. So I'm a big believer in no one is going to tell me I can't do something. I just know sometimes I might choose to do it at an inopportune time and I might have to work a little harder. But dude, I've survived that. Undergrad, grad school, relaunching my business. Like I'm not here for timing the market perfectly. That I don't have that skill. I'm not able to look at the world, go back in history and say, this is the perfect time for me to launch a business, to go back to school, I don't know that. So if I absolve myself of that responsibility and thinking I'm going to be able to assess the perfect time, I just make it the perfect time because I show up for it. And I'm just like, yeah, it might be harder than I want it to be, but it also might be easier in some ways, which I've also found to be true.
Agreed. Okay. Let's go to worst time fallacy.
Okay. So this is for all my peoples listening to the podcast that are like, yeah, but I'm just going to wait for the right time. Katrina.
Me.
Okay. Here we go. We talked about this. Every single time is going to feel like the worst time.
Yep.
Think about COVID. Think about all the times we have been on the verge of a recession, or at least that's been touted. Think about political chaos, right? Think about AI panic, which is the newest flavor of this. And think about even in your own small world, I hear this a lot, like staffing guilt, right? So it might not be the broader world, but it might be in your company. You feel like, God, my team is just holding it together. And if I leave, everything's going to fall apart. Like my business partner or, like the person, my manager or my peer is about to go on like paternity leave or maternity leave, or they're going out for surgery for 6 weeks. Like, this is a terrible time for me to leave. I'm not saying you have to go right in that moment, but I want to acknowledge there will always be a very good reason that right now is not the right time, right? That there is a good reason to just wait just a little bit longer because it's always going to shapeshift. Worry, as we talked about in a previous episode on, overcoming uncertainty, worry is actually sourced from your imagination, and our imaginations are infinite. So there is no amount of problem like that is going to be too much for your brain or where your brain is going to be satisfied. Like, it will just keep imagining new reasons. So we are no longer waiting, right, for the right time. We're just figuring out, when do I have what I essentially need to make this happen? Because the perfect time will be when you're dead, and then it will be too late. Okay?
I'll tell you what, that is one thing I don't have, guilt of leaving a workplace. Never had that.
I know.
Sorry,
well, I also think like I hear that a lot from people who manage people, and maybe they've worked at the same company. Like, I have some clients now who are leaving their jobs and they have been at the same company for 15 to 18 years. So like, it's a part of who they are, right? It feels like a big piece of their identity in some way. It's like a family. I mean, they spend more alive waking time with the people at work than they probably do with their own family. And they don't want to leave people in a bad place, which I totally respect, but it's like, as we talked about in debunking those fears, it might actually be a disservice to people for you to stay on when you know you want to leave or when you need to leave to go take care of yourself. You might actually be harming them. And a lot of times you create a space for other people to step up and kind of like go to their next level in their role as well. So no perfect time. Okay, ready?
No perfect time.
Next point.
Just a quick break there in the episode. I just want to say there are many ways to support this podcast. Please give a written review and 5 stars on any podcast app of your choice. This is greatly appreciated and helps the podcast find new listeners. On YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, like any video that you watch, and leave a comment with your thoughts. I love to read them and respond to them too. You can help the production costs of this podcast by heading to buymeacoffee.com/winging it. For $5, you can buy me a coffee and help this podcast immensely. And finally, please tell Winging It to your friends and family. Get them to tune in, get some wanderlust on the go, and hopefully they'll come back more if they're inspired to. That's the aim of the podcast, to get more people to travel the world. Let's get back into the episode.
If you're dreaming of your own career break or sabbatical, or if you're on one right now, I want you to know about the one place that's designed to give you everything you need, Breakspace. It's your launch pad for a life-changing break. Inside, you'll find courses to build your break blueprint and redesign your life. Plus, there's live coaching calls, expert-led masterclasses on everything from finance to re-entry, and a global community with dozens of people on the same exact journey. You don't have to do this alone. We've supported hundreds of breaks, and yours could be next. Find out more and learn how to join us at gobreakspace.com.
Yeah.
The target will keep moving. Okay? So if we're waiting for the right moment, which again does not exist. I want to beat this into everyone's heads. It does not exist, right? It will keep moving. So it might sound like this. Okay. After this project, this is a big project. So after this project, I've got time. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to give my notice, right? And then the project ends. And then it might be like, oh, after this election, because things are really going to change,
Yeah.
So I got to like wait the next 6 months to see how this plays out, how this shakes out, right? Then the election happens. And then it's like, oop, it just feels like people are talking about the bubble might burst and things are going to change. I just want the economy to stabilize. I just need it to stabilize. And then it's like, oh my God, AI is doing some wild and crazy things. I just want to feel like I have a real handle on it. I want to figure it out. I want to just like know that I've got the skills to like, stay on top of this stuff. Cause like if I jump out now, I'll never catch up, right? And then it's like, okay. Also, we have some backfills coming in. There are these open spots. I can't leave my team when we have open spots. So I'm going to wait until we've hired those 2 roles and then it will be perfect. And then I can go out and feel good about it. There will always be a next thing. Okay. AI is just the newest instigator of this fear of falling behind, but it's always been there. It has always been there. Okay. I am going to fall behind in an irreversible way if I take a break. That fear has always been there. So please don't think that you are special, that this moment is special, that it's just your brain is just doing a brain thing and it's doing it along with like billions of other brains at the same time.
Yeah. I'll tell you a fun game I used to play actually.
Okay.
Back in the day when I was trying to find a job is you go to recruitment agencies and you sign up and just listen to what their answer is when you ask, oh, is there like many jobs at the minute? And they all say the same thing. Oh, it's a bit quiet right now. Oh, that's all I've heard for 20 years. It's been quiet all the time.
Well, and the funny thing is like, even if they said it was good, it would be like, it's
never,
good right now, but it's
that.
going to change in a minute. So you better hustle up and get in here and you better get a job fast because it's all about to go away. Do you know what I mean? Like we're always on the precipice of doom and like complete obliteration. I know.
What is that like mentality? Do you think it's just to like get your expectations down maybe? Don't know.
Well, I think it's like, I mean, maybe it's that. Maybe you're only talking to recruiters that are terrible at their jobs and no one wants to work with them. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I think it has a lot to do. I think it has a lot to do with just brains being wired for survival. It's kind of like the news, right? Like we're paying a lot of attention to whatever seems the most catastrophic and terrible and awful because our brains are like hyper tuned into that information because it's like, what I'm here to do as your brain, Katrina, is to like try to mitigate threats and risk so that we can stay alive. I'm not here to let you thrive. I'm not here to let you like realize your biggest, happiest version of life. I could give 2 craps about that. I just want you to stay breathing, right? That's all I want. Just stay breathing. Be miserable, be in pain. I don't care. Just stay breathing. And so I think it's like assessing, it's looking at the horizon, assessing risk. And so I think it's always like, what is the bad thing that I could fixate on so that I can keep us alive?
Yeah, interesting. So if they're always quiet, then what are they doing every day?
Yeah.
Because they got nothing to do, have they?
Right, I know. Yeah. What are they doing every day?
Anyway,
I don't
that's
know.
another conversation.
Next
point.
Yeah, next point. So we kind of addressed this, but let's underscore this point. When has life ever felt certain? This is not a rhetorical question. If you are someone that says now is not the right time, now is not a good time, and you're still holding on to this, I want you to think about this. You can even like send us a message. You can drop a comment if you're watching on YouTube, or you can like leave a comment, if you're listening on Spotify. But like, when was the last time life felt certain for you? And you have to be honest. When was the last time that everything felt stable enough that you felt like you could do something as air quotes wild and crazy as take a break?
Do you know what? I was thinking about this. I think my own thinking of like when's the best time is actually not based on anything like internally. It's actually based on the material thing. So like you paid off your big debt after taking a break and stuff like that, right? It's at $40,000 or something, right? You paid off.
I sure did.
I was like, well, if I do want to own a property one day, I do need to get some guaranteed money together to get to that point. So mine is very much purely based on we have a rough day, date, month, year in mind, and what the amount should be that we were willing to go with. So just working towards that. So in my mind, I mean, it could fall into now it's not the right time, but I like to think when it gets to that point, I will just go and do it. I mean, we'll see in 18 months, whenever it will be, but that's kind of where I'm thinking. It's more materialistic, not really like internally. I would jump tomorrow, easy, if that wasn't a thing, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, we should note, right? Like I saved and planned for almost 2 years to take my break. This episode is not about like you should just do it now. Do you have
Yeah.
enough money? No? Well, figure it out. Like,
Yeah,
quit your
yeah,
job
yeah.
and figure it out, right? Like,
Social
it'll be
media way.
fine. Just
Yeah.
manifest your money. Like, it's not that.
Yeah.
But what I've discovered time and time again is there are a lot of humans out there that actually do have the money. They do have the means.
Yes.
And it's not
Yeah.
about take the break tomorrow, but it's like, okay, let's make this timeline real. Are you taking a break this year? When are you going to start it? If it's not this year, is it February of 2027? Like, let's get concrete here and let's set real hurdles that are important, right? Like, if you want to save money for something big, it's like, okay, but like that big thing can be replaced by another big thing that feels equally as important once you've reached that goal. Human brains will keep raising the bar on you. So, I just want people to be chasing goals that really align with what they want. So are you saving money for, something because you think you should have it, or because you really want it and it is exactly what you really want and need, right? Like, for me, that became my break. My break became that thing, but I still had to work for 18 months to save and 2 years in total to plan it. It didn't just come overnight. So this isn't about overnight. Although I will say I am surprised and shocked by the number of people that actually have the financial means to take a break tomorrow if they wanted to, that will still tell me, I don't know if I can afford to do it. Like, they
That's
absolutely can,
Yeah,
So I
that's
want to
interesting.
address that. Yeah, I want to address that as well. But I think the main point here is that the perfect moment doesn't exist, right? That is really the takeaway from this episode. Like we talked about, every single time feels like the worst time when you're in it because you don't have foresight to know what is going to happen, right? You could be about to win the lottery tomorrow and just not know it. So today could feel like the worst financial day to do it, and it could be the best, like you just don't know. So it's never going to feel right. And so if it's never going to feel right, and if things are never going to be completely in your control and the way that you want them, it's not really about the right time, because we wouldn't even be able to recognize it until it's hindsight behind us, and then it's passed us by and it's too late. So it's not about trying to find the right time. It's just about figuring out, what do you need to make it a good enough time, right? Waiting for certainty in an uncertain world is like standing on the equator waiting for snow. It's not coming. It's not coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not coming. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. I agree.
Not going to happen. Unless, I guess, what do they say? Hell freezes over, in which case, like, we're probably not going to be doing much at that point anyway. So, like, it really, truly, don't wait. If you have to save, if you have to, plan, whatever, that's fine. But prioritize that. Prioritize that saving. Prioritize that planning. Set a date, even if it's 12 months, 2 years in the future. I just really want to say, like, this fear of falling behind feels like it's protecting you. It feels like your scrutiny to try to find this right perfect time or the best time is protecting you. But it can actually be the thing that is holding you back from living the better life that you want to live. Okay? And this is just a teaser into the workshop. This is absolutely something we're diving into and unpacking. But, like, spoiler, it keeps you in survival mode. It keeps you reactive. It keeps you not thinking clearly about what you actually want. So you are so busy looking down at your feet to see where you're going, to try not to trip and fall and lose the race, that you forget to look up at the horizon and look at the bigger picture and be like, do I even want to run in this direction? Or actually, am I trying to go over here? Like, do I want to pivot and go west? Because, like, I'm running east with all these other people, but that's not actually even where I want to go. Like, bigger picture thinking, and it requires courage. I fully admit it requires courage. But, we're going to break down in the workshop, like, how exactly this thinking can be applied, like how it works, what you should be doing instead. So I really want to encourage people to come to the workshop, to sign up for the workshop. It's free. We are super passionate about this, but really there is no perfect time. And, James, for your situation, I just want to say, I get it. And I do think there is an element of strategy. Like, I'm a former actuary, spreadsheet nerd. Like, I do love my strategies. I do love my planning. But it's really like, I think we underestimate what can be waiting on the other side. And sometimes it's just the pressure of, like, I'm doing this thing and now it's happening. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that makes us do it and makes us be resourceful and creative enough to actually make it work. But I know you, like, you work very hard on your goal. So it's not like you're not taking action on your goal. You're just sitting around waiting for the perfect time. Like, you're working on it. It's just a matter of, like, there at some point will be this scary leap that will never feel complete, right? You'll never have a perfect bridge that will be completely built from one cliff to the other cliff, and you will have to jump. But I see you building as much of the bridge as you can. I see you, like, working on your parachute, like, you're prepping for this. So I'm very excited for the day that you become a full-time entrepreneur.
Well, there's a couple of caveats as well. I mean, we would be possibly relocating to different countries. It's got to happen anyway, in terms of like
Right.
quitting the job and
Yeah,
being
that's true.
free in quotation marks. And also, I have been on quite a few breaks before. I mean, it's not like I'm not. I mean, travel wise, I sort of keep tally of the last 10 years. I think maybe half. No, maybe 6 years of work in that in 10. I think the rest of it's been traveled or not working, right? So it's not like I've not been working, but in my mind, I can justify it because I'm like, well, okay, well, I've had 4 years of the last 10 just traveling about, taking breaks and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, what's another 2 or 3 just to bunker down and get this next phase done, right? That's kind of how I think about it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense. I will say, as somebody who has taken this leap, unless you're the person that just builds a 6-figure business while you also happen to be working a full-time job, it always feels really risky because it is risky. Like, I think just
Yeah, of course.
inherently
Yeah.
entrepreneurship is risk. It's a high reward, but it's a high risk too. And so it never feels safe. But I definitely, like I said, I definitely see you working on building towards your goal, right? That's me
Yeah.
saving money for 18 months or making a plan and working with a life coach, 2 years before my break started. Like, sometimes it just looks like plodding along and doing the work. But if this episode is hitting you at a point where the date has shifted for years, right? Like, the date
Yeah.
is 2022 and then it's 2023 and then it's 2024. And, like, if you're that person, or if you just keep telling yourself, this isn't the right time, but you really need a break, I just want you to know, like, there is no right time. And you can
Yeah.
absolutely be thinking about, how can I make it the right time for me, instead of waiting for like my fear brain to tell me that I have permission to do this because it's like existentially the right time. If you need help with this, come to the workshop. It's free. Link in the show notes.
Yep.
But we would love to have you, and you'll just get to witness Lyndall and I in our glory, like sharing a bunch of knowledge, dropping a bunch of gems, and helping you figure this out.
Yep. 2 things. So link in the show notes, you can sign up. And secondly, we did interview Lyndall.
We
So
did.
if you go back a few episodes, Katrina and Lyndall answered some questions that I had for them. So you can check out that vibe and see if you like it as well.
Check our vibe. Yeah. I love it. Well, thanks for a great episode today, James.
Yeah,
I
it's
had fun
great.
with this one.
Next one will be sort of part 2 of this conversation, right? So
It
I'll
will
see you
be.
there.
Yeah. See you there.
Okay. See ya. Thanks for tuning in to the Winging It Travel podcast episode today. I hope you got some great content there and are inspired to go and travel. If you want help to go and travel, there are links on wingingittravelpodcast.com to help you book some travel. These are affiliate links, and anything that you book is at no extra cost to yourself. But for me, I get a tiny, tiny commission with that cost. Also on this website is other great materials, such as blogs, episodes, and information about myself and my travels. Head to wingingittravelpodcast.com for more information. Also, if you're looking for help to start a podcast, head to wingingitproductions.com. This has all of my professional projects within podcasting and YouTube, and you can see all the different types of content that I'm creating. And finally, don't forget to leave that review and 5 stars on your podcast app, or if you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you at the next episode.